Hello again, this is Elijah, and I'm going to talk to you tonight a little bit about the importance of salt. Okay, that's a very important subject. It's a very misunderstood subject, and most people don't realize that one of the most abundant uh, things in our creation is salt. Our bodies are made up of salt to a large degree. The seas are made up or contain a tremendous amount of salt. Salt is in mineral form in the earth and plants and trees. Salt is everywhere. And salt is an extremely important subject. We're going to talk about it a little bit more. I have Catherine with me tonight. Catherine?
Hello.
Nice to have you. Catherine is very experienced, has her own interesting story with her own health journey. At one point she was quite sick and has recovered her health and gone on to have great health, and now has worked with, would you say, hundreds or thousands?
Many hundreds of people.
Many hundreds of people in assisting them in recovering their health, even from very serious diseases, particularly cancer. But we're going to talk tonight about salt. So did you want to share what you had first or later on?
I'd like to read what the scripture says about
Okay.
salt. Yeshua was speaking to the multitude of people, and he said, "Ye are the salt of the earth. But if the salt have lost its savor, wherewith shall it be salted? It is therefore good for nothing, but to be cast out and to be trodden under foot of men." So we know that salt that is refined and depleted of its important minerals is a poison and is of no value to our bodies. It is a destructive item, whereas if we have a salt that is natural as it comes out of the earth, then it is a health item that builds and restores health.
That's right, yeah. So Morton's table salt, for example, or iodized white table salt, regardless of the brand, is essentially a poison. One of the reasons that there's been so much bad press about salt, kidney problems, heart problems, etc., is because that particular kind of salt is in fact very harmful to your health, as Catherine just said. It's really lost its essence, and what makes salt good for your health has been stripped out by the processing that is done. And so we agree that you want to avoid that kind of salt 100%. Never use it, ever. On the other hand, natural salt, the kind of salt that we make available to people is, in particular, the salt we have is Himalayan pink salt. And this salt has 84 minerals and is unrefined and therefore not processed, and basically is mined out of the ground in the Himalayas, literally, and it's shipped from there over to this country, and then we package it up and provide it in 2-pound bags, and it has some incredible health benefits, which we want to tell you a little bit more about. Now, you've had some experience with the salt yourself. Is there anything that you'd like to share with the viewers about your own experience with this salt?
Well, I feel like that it has benefited in the use of minerals in my body, whereas the other salts I feel was detrimental to being too acidic, whereas the Himalayan salt, your natural salt, puts alkaline in the body.
Mm-hmm.
And it puts the true sodium, and sodium is a key one of our minerals that helps our bodies to function properly. An imbalance of sodium will create many health problems.
Right. Sodium is one of the minerals that's essential in the operation of the heart. If you have some type of emergency and you go to a hospital, first thing they do is stick an IV in your arm with a bag of sodium, sodium water, basically. And so once again, there you see the importance of the right kind of sodium. That's not iodized table salt, that's a different type of sodium. And so it is a very essential mineral, and as Catherine said, it plays a very important role in the regulation of our pH. So most Americans are very acidic, and that's a very serious problem because cancer and other diseases, pathogens thrive in an acidic environment within our body. And so one of the roles of this particular type of salt, or sodium in the body, is it operates as a buffer to actually eliminate the acid that is in the system, thereby making us more alkaline or keeping us at a proper acid-alkaline balance. So sodium is one of the four minerals that the body depends on primarily. You also have magnesium, calcium, and potassium. And when the body is deficient in sodium and or these other minerals, then what happens is the body begins to rob calcium from the bones and the teeth in order to buffer that acid. And that's why you have people as they get older having osteoporosis, arthritis, other bone-related problems, and teeth problems as well. So very, very important. I'll share a story about my own experience in a moment, but Catherine, you had a story as well about your dogs. And
Yes.
this particular, now you were making a sole, which is a, why don't you explain quickly what a sole is?
Sole is where you take like a jar and you put an inch of salt in the bottom of it and fill it up with water, and you shake this and you let it set overnight, and in the morning you shake it, and if all the if the water has dissolved all the salt that it's going to, then you have a balanced water that you can, by the teaspoonful, use this in a quart, a gallon, or however. I've been putting a teaspoon of this in our 2-gallon purified water and putting it down in my dog's bowl. And my cat and my dogs both drink out of it. And they are drinking more water now that I am fixing it as this than they were with just the straight reverse osmosis water.
Right.
And it's a balance.
Yeah, I also had an experience with an animal that was quite fascinating. I had introduced the Himalayan pink salt to a friend that was already buying raw wild honey from us, and we had a relationship, and so they decided they wanted to get on the salt, and I was over there explaining to them, and we had mixed up a big salt batch with water, and everybody had a glass of, you know, fresh water with Himalayan pink salt in it. And while we were talking, they had a cat that had feline H syndrome, and they had spent $3,000 on its medical bills. And the cat got up suddenly and walked across the coffee table and tried to stick its head in the glass of Himalayan pink salt water. And the lady said that that cat would never drink out of a glass or a bowl or anything filled with water. The only water that cat would ever drink was out of the bird bath in the backyard, because it was rainwater full of minerals. And so I suggested they fill up a bowl with this water that we had just made, and with the Himalayan pink salt, 84 minerals, and they did so. And while he was doing that, the cat was on the edge of the table, looked like he was going to fall off. He was so in such anticipation to get his face into that water. And when he came back with the water, that cat drank and drank and drank. It seemed like forever. It was the most amazing thing. So we have a free book that you can read online at our website. It's godsblessing.com. And if you go there and you go to the articles page, you will see a link to download the free ebook. And that's about 45 pages long. It tells you many, many facts and interesting things about salt, health benefits, so on, history of salt, that we just don't have time to cover in this short video. But we hope you'll download it. We look forward to talking with you more in the future. And I hope you've enjoyed this video tonight. Thank you, Catherine, for joining us.
You're welcome. Enjoyed it.
All right. Bye-bye.